What they do? It's your boy, Young Poet.
Flat out, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Princess Jasmine.
And I'm me for you. Thank you for joining us this Saturday for our perspective segment. Topic of discussion today, or should I say one of the topics of discussion today will be the late Breanna Taylor and the, I don't know how you would call it, I said the bullshit excuse and how they downplayed what happened to her and the bullshit charge that they actually gave the officer who is responsible for her murder. And yes, I said murder because she was murdered. The woman was sleeping. Okay, what threat could she have been? Sleeping.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier today, and I didn't understand, like, when you're serving someone a search warrant, since when do guns come into play with that?
Exactly, but I do understand that part. But they went way overboard with it because when they came in, they were under a no-knock warrant, and the guy shot them that it was intruders.
No. It didn't turn into a no-knock warrant until after the incident because they tried to cover the incident up.
Well, first off, a no-knock warrant?
Yeah.
That shouldn't even exist. I'm sorry. A no-knock warrant, because I'm sorry, if I feel like somebody's entering my home, of course I'm going to protect where I lay my head. Who wouldn't do that?
Which led him, the boyfriend, to be within his rights because it was stated that when they knocked on the door, he asked, "Who is it?" It kind of like woke her up a little bit. They asking, "Who is it?"
Right.
A few times, and they wouldn't say anything. The police wouldn't say anything.
See, and that's wrong. You're supposed to announce yourself. That's first and foremost. I don't give a damn who you are. Yeah. You knock at someone's door and they say, "Who is it?" and you don't say anything.
Right.
What's the first thing somebody gonna think?
You don't think that there's an intruder because they did immediately start coming in their house shortly after they was asking who is it.
Right.
And by them not saying anything, he is licensed to carry. He was licensed to have his gun. So he immediately fired one shot. He didn't fire more than that. It was only one shot. And when he fired that one shot, they came in shooting, emptying clips.
Oh, I'm so sorry because all the blame falls at that police department's feet.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what you thought that man was guilty of. I don't give a fuck. Excuse my language, but this really pisses me off. And you know, I had kind of like an epiphany the other day. I don't know how I just clicked into my head. I'm outside at night, my favorite time. Just looking up at the stars and, you know, other things that are up there. And the thought just came into my head that, okay, you know what? The reason why all these injustices are happening to black people, or so it seems them the most, when these laws and Constitution and all of that was written, black people weren't even included in that.
Nope, not at all.
This is all for those folks.
Well, with the exception of mental shackles and chains.
During slavery, of course, they had to include some portion of that. But I'm saying, because you got to remember, the Constitution was constantly added on too. All of that wasn't written in one day
No,
it wasn't. So that wasn't written in mind with our people in mind, people of melanin in mind.
Correct.
These laws and so forth. So, which is probably why they don't treat their own like that. Prime example, I watched this clip on my news today, on my Facebook page. There was this some high school football game was going on, and they had a mandate: you must wear a mask.
Right.
All except the players, but the players had to be tested, cleared, and everything before they could even participate. Yada yada. Okay, so it was a mandate: you have to wear a mask, right? Mm-hmm. Well, one woman, white woman,
Karen,
felt like she didn't have to do that. So the black guard, security guard, aka off-duty police, gave her the option. Okay, look, you can put the mask on, or you're gonna have to leave. Oh, she refused. So after he gave her chance after chance, he said, okay, you know what? You gotta go. So he grabs her, like to escort her out. The woman she was with, another white woman, Karen, well, wait, you can't get her. He was like, look, she's been asked to put on the mask, and she was told if she didn't want to wear the mask, that she had to leave, blah, blah, blah. And you hear the friend, not the one who's getting ready to be escorted out. Of course, she's tussling and wrestling and all this with the man and all this and that. But you hear the friend, and I don't even know if he's a real police officer. I don't think he's supposed to be doing this.
escorting someone out? You don't think he's supposed to be doing that? That sounds like.
According to her, she didn't know if he was a legit police, and he shouldn't be doing her like it's not. The main factor of this is we have seen white cops manhandle black women, throw black women to the ground on their face like as if they were a guy. Mm-hmm. All of this.
Mm-hmm. Holding pregnant women.
And now mind you, this lady, she's tussling with this black off-duty cop who's also securing this football game and going by the rules of the school. Mandated mask must be worn. Even he had on the mask.
Right. And
she, like I said, she's tussling, yanking away from doing all this and that, so he tased her. And then there's like, she shouldn't be doing that. Okay, but she wasn't shy.
Right.
She wasn't shy.
Yeah. Like how people get.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Definitely.
If it had been the other way around, they probably
And I'm not trying to throw the race card in there. No, I'm not just defending people with melanin and all this. That is not why my point of bringing all this up. My point for bringing this up is the excuse that's always being said whenever you see a person of melanin has been killed by a boy in blue, unarmed, running away from, right. or even just quote asking the reasons of why you stopped me or why am I pulled over or why are you hanging. Even for that, you always get those people that say, well, if they just would have did what the officer said, if they just would have, abided by what the officer said. Okay, here this white woman, she didn't abide by what that officer said at all. She's tussling with this officer. She's yanking away from him. Mm-hmm. She's resisting arrest, as they like to call it. But yet she walked out of there on her own two legs, unharmed. No. So I want to hear the next time. Hopefully, the next time will be not. But I know that's not realistically thinking. But I don't want to hear another excuse as to, well, if they would have just followed what they were told to do,
But even though this lady didn't do what was asked of her by the officer, he still didn't see the need to use excessive force.
That's my point. When it was really being consecutive, all these black men were being shot by these cops, and you seen Sandra Bland and what happened with her and that cop. When you seen all of this is like back to back things. Yeah. So when you seen all that going on, everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, but I saw a lot of people saying, well, if they would have just did what the cop told, if they would have just cooperated with what they were being told, yada yada yada, then that would have happened.
So what about
my point is this white woman didn't cooperate not one bit with this black officer, but yet this white woman is still alive, walked out of there on her own two and there was no violence took place in any of this.
Right.
Black cop, white woman. Had there been a white cop, black woman, that would have went most likely. I'm gonna give it a percentage and say 70% that would have went bad. I'm sorry, and I base that percentage off of what I see. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
I hate when they say that, because even so, what about the ones who do what the police say and they still don't have a life? What about them?
Right.
George Floyd, for example.
Right. He did what the cop said. He's in handcuffed behind his back, on his stomach, laid on the concrete, and you still killed him. I don't give a damn what his past was. I don't care what he did, because whatever he did before that happened, he had paid his dues. Still had no right to do what they did.
Because even in the video, you saw him asking, "What am I being arrested for?" He kept asking, "What am I being arrested for?" And they wouldn't tell him.
Wouldn't answer. And now, I'm sorry, you're supposed to let everybody know what they're being accused of.
That's within his rights.
But you have all these people who they want to throw that little thing out there with it. And he should have. But in this case, with the George, what I was hearing, he was a criminal anyway. Like, what? How do you sound?
He's supposed to get locked up.
So
he's not supposed to get his life taken.
So my thing is this: just like a lot of the anchormen and the newscasters in the media, they ask the same question. So just because he's a criminal, that means that he doesn't have any rights?
I assume so.
The last time I checked, that in the world, criminals are humans. Activists are humans. Rapists are humans. You got the politicians are humans. The police officers are humans. So
everybody on this that's walking this earth is
it shouldn't matter
with the exception of animals and insects are humans.
At the end
supposed to be. Anyway.
See, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what a person's title, position, or ethnic background is. Irregardless, we're humans, and humans have rights.
This is very true. But no, they like to give that illusion that they have the rights and yes, it's an illusion because I'm sorry, but you say all this crap as far as innocent until proven guilty, blah, blah, blah. My ass is guilty until proven innocent. That's how they treat you. That's how you're looked at. I'm sorry, is guilty until proven innocent. So stop with that whole delusion of grandeur that when the system says you're innocent until proven guilty. That's bullshit. Bullshit. They have proven that time and time again. Proven it. So I don't even want to hear that crap.
And they'll continue.
Or you'll have your day in court. Really? Tell that to Philando Cruz, Mike Brown, George Floyd, Breanna Taylor. And the list goes on and on. Tell them how they were going to have their day in court. Right. Spare me with that bullshit. I'm sick of the nonsense.
George Floyd's twin brother, which a lot of people didn't know he had a twin, his twin brother had actually went on Facebook and he was stating that he was stating something about Charles Barkley, which I 100% agree, because
don't get me started on him.
Charles Barkley, technically, you really need to shut the fuck up, because
he always has need to shut the fuck up.
He spewed a whole bunch of non-facts about that case, and he put it in the most ridiculous political way possible, because just like the guy from the media stated that he'd been around white people too long. That's what he stated. That was his words. So, and this was a black guy who said this. But look, he said.
But you know, I don't even buy that he'd been around white people too long. I'm sorry. I don't buy that. I just think you are who you are as a person. Period. You gonna think how you gonna think as a person. Period. Because I had a lot of white friends in school with some of every race. We all got along. Everybody, I ain't saying it was all kumbaya every single day, because it wasn't. But at the end of the day, they didn't change my view and I didn't change their view. And if we different as far as how we thought, we came to a mutual understanding that we would agree to disagree. Period.
Well, it's not. It wasn't about that. It was more so about the fact that he was stating that Charles Barkley seems to side more with the white people than he do with his own people, and that's been something that's been going down. It's been something that historically a lot of people in the spotlight have been stating about Charles Barkley, which gives them reason to not really care about him or not like him or dislike him.
Well, my thing is this: you think what you want, believe what you want. You're entitled to do that as a human being, individual, thinking brain, all that good stuff. Do that. But my thing is, I don't know not one black person. I hate to. I don't know not one person of melanin on this earth who does not agree that we need to be on the same page more as far as each other, coexisting with each other, you know, helping each other, having each other's backs, all that good stuff. Right. There's not one. I don't think that there's one who is in disagreement with that. But what I also feel is when you openly downgrade your own people, you're validating what the other people who are not of that, you know, ethnicity, you're validating all the negative crap they have to say. You're giving validation. And you know what they say? Oh, see, look, they own people. They say the same. Yes, how they look at that. Yeah. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if people those of melanin who do that, I don't know if they realize that that's the ripple effect that their words out in the public does.
Yeah, you're co-signing.
Yeah, I don't know if they realize that that's what that's doing, giving validation to racist, to narrow-minded thinking people, to people who already feel like all we know is violence and we're no better than animals. But like I say, I can respect you for having your own personal view on things, but I can't respect you when you downgrade your own people out in the public like that. That's just wrong, and I don't see how you can feel your people should respect you for that.
That's the same thing that Jimmy was saying about Charles Barkley's statement. Like, he don't feel that. He feels that it's really, really inappropriate that you would downgrade your own people.
It's beyond inappropriate. And it's just like, you know, giving them a pat on the back like, yeah, you're right. Yep. That's why I keep saying Kanye West stupid ass. I don't give a fuck about him being bipolar. It don't mean jack shit to me. Because we from the same town, bro. We from the same side of the city, same city, all that. I don't want to hear about no bipolar. I don't want to hear it. I don't hear about it. You refuse to take your fucking meds. You insist on letting the most ignorant shit spew out of your mouth. But everybody's supposed to give it a pass because you're bipolar. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, I don't. And yeah, I said it. I don't care who gets mad. I don't care who claps back. Clap back all you want because I'm ready for you, whoever you are. I don't want to hear no excuses on that. None. You set your black ass up there and put a goddamn Trump hat on your head. Really? Really? This is what you do? Like I said, we from the same place, my brother. Don't forget it. Don't forget that. Yeah, South Side. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. And,
you want to clown all of a sudden because you live in LA or London or wherever you choose to lay your damn hair. No, let me forget that. Now it's Wyoming. With your little church and all of that going on, really? Well, I guess you need to find that Jesus in you, honey. If you gonna support that, make America great. Yeah, you need to find him. Find him. Find him. Hurry up, real quick. Find him.
And the other thing that George Floyd's twin was talking about was how bogus it is that the police officer was only charged with 3 counts of reckless endangerment.
Yeah.
and what was declined to charge the other officers that were also involved. They didn't charge any of the other officers. They only charged the shooting officer.
And wow, look at the whole double standard of that. Like the young black lady who got 20 years for firing a warning shot against her abusive husband. Mm-hmm. She received 20 damn years.
And didn't even shoot the man.
Didn't shoot a fire, warning shot in the air.
Yeah, she didn't.
But you give this one, who killed a woman in her sleep, no less. That's basically a slap on the wrist. Like, yeah, we know you made a mistake, but we gotta give you something. So here you are.
Hold on. Run it back.
Yes. Young black lady in Florida. This happened a couple of years ago, I think it was. Young black lady in Florida, you know, trying to get away from the abusive husband.
Right.
She fired a warning shot. He came, found her. You know, she fired a warning shot in the air, let them know, okay, you keep coming at me, I'm gonna shoot you. Right. She didn't shoot him. She only fired the warning shot in the air. Yes, but that woman, get that woman 20 years.
20 years is worth shooting him. I'll just say
20 years. Like, wow, really?
Beating her 20 years is worth shooting him. She should pop the kneecap or something.
Yeah, but she did. That's the
years.
thing. But you still want to give her 20 years.
Yeah, that's
and even if she had shot him, that's self-defense. He has a history of abuse.
Exactly. Oh no.
And it's crazy because they said that the Attorney General, which was the first black person in Kentucky to hold the post in his defense for the grand jury. So basically, he was defending her honor because of what happened to her, and he also felt like it was an injustice that the police officer pretty much got a slap on the wrist.
Definitely.
It said Carlson defended Cameron, which is the boyfriend, after the anchor on CNN, and said his words were politically loaded words. Like, they kept trying to say that it was mob justice is not justice. They keep saying that, and they come to find out that that's a Southern term that they use to be political about somebody getting killed in a racial facet. And
mob justice?
Yeah.
That's a slap in the face to the mob.
And that's the same thing some other people.
That's a slap in the face to the mob. I'm sorry.
But they were
mob
trying to say in
folks,
Kentucky
I give them their props on that. They did not touch women and children. That was a big no-no.
In Kentucky news, they were trying to say that Breanna Taylor's murder, her cover-up, was in order to help Biden get votes.
Joe Biden don't have a damn thing to do with these idiots. Oh my God! Shove that thought back up your ass. They never said that because that's such crap.
The guy from the Examiner, which is a New York paper. I mean, not New York, but a Kentucky paper. Tucker Carlson, he said that the media distorted the facts about Breanna Taylor's death to help Biden.
What?
Yeah. But he said they distorted the facts for that reason. The reason why they changed the stories up when they was trying to cover up for killing her. He said the police officers did that for that reason. That's basically what he was saying.
How?
No, he said that the media, the people who covered the story were covering the facts up for that reason.
How? To help Joe Biden?
Yeah.
How exactly was that to help Joe Biden?
Because of that term where it says mob justice is not justice, which is a Southern term that they use to try to cover up.
Again, how is that helping? How would that have helped Joe Biden?
That's the same thing that
what does Joe Biden have to do with any of this?
That Tucker Carlson is saying is that doesn't make any sense because it has nothing to do with
exactly not a thing at all.
And the fact that this was not a racial killing. This had nothing
to
do
with
racial.
This was inadequate cops who didn't know what the fuck they were doing and should have never had a badge and a gun. Period.
And to add to that, I put barbecue sauce on my fries so he can taste it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I eat them. I put them on my fries.
Right.
And I eat them.
So he can taste
it. So he can taste it.
Right. So he gets the satisfaction of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how dumb that sounds.
But
That's
the
beyond
thing
Charles.
about the thing about Charles Barkley is before, just like the gentleman said on about Breanna about from Push Black, he said that, and I agree with him, that Charles Barkley needs to get facts first before you start throwing out information. Because basically, the way you stated that, it was basically stating that you were covering for the police officers that killed Breanna. Because the way he said it was, keep in mind that her boyfriend shot at the cops first.
One shot, it didn't even hit anyone.
But whatever happened to the fact that you entered their premises with unannounced, even after they stated, even after they asked you who is it, you knock on the door and they saying who is it. So if you had a no-knock warrant, then why did you not? Right.
As I just stated previously, inadequate men who should not have had badges nor guns.
So push back.
Because they were inept as far as doing their job correctly.
Right.
Period.
Push back decided to put the truth out there and state what really happened. For those people who don't know what happened, push back, put that out there. Because there's a lot of people out here saying things about Breanna's case, but you don't have no facts.
As I stated before, what did I say? They come up with all these fucking bullshit excuses to say, if they would have did this, that wouldn't have happened. If they would have done this, that wouldn't have happened. If they wouldn't have did this, that wouldn't have happened. Blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
They pull the shit out their asses every single time you turn around. You hear that, you see it in the post, or you hear it come out of somebody's mouth. You hear that. You just cannot simply say, if that person did not have a weapon, no way should they be dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line. If that person did not have, how the hell did you kill her, but you didn't land out one bullet on the boyfriend?
Right.
Who's supposed to be the one that shot first?
Right.
How does that even make sense? Does anybody think about that? Hello? How the hell did she end up with, what was it, 8 bullets in her? She's asleep. The boyfriend didn't have not one bullet on him, I don't believe. He got shot on the thing. Okay. How did that happen? How does that work? But again, you're trying to say somehow her death is her fault? And she's asleep? Or you trying to say it's the boyfriend's fault because he fired a shot? Is it his fault because they chose to shoot her 8 times, but they didn't shoot him not once, and he's the one with the gun?
Yeah.
You make that, give me a break with this crap.
It turns out that the boyfriend and her were actually living together. It wasn't that story that somebody stated that he just received mail there. No, he received mail there because he lived there. So that story about the police came there because they were suspicious of the mail that he received, that's not true. That was a false allegation, right? That was another false statement that was put out there about this young lady's murder. Like, it's just so many things, so many false pretenses and so much false information that's put out there about this, as opposed to people just finding out the truth of what really happened. Didn't we talk about this earlier, how someone will take, they come across some information, or they only will go with like-minded people who think like them. Yeah. And if it sounds the way that they're thinking, or it matches to what they're thinking, that's it. The buck stops there. Yeah. They don't need to go no further. Exactly. They take it and run with it as the absolute truth. Yeah. We just talked about this. We talking about what people learn, what people accept, and what people adopt. Exactly. And there's a difference between learning, accepting, and adopting something. Like, take for example, religious beliefs. If you learn something about a religious belief, then you take that information and you accept that information. That being accepting doesn't mean that that's the end all be all for you. Being accepting means that, okay, I hear you, I understand where you're coming from, I understand your point. But I'm going to go and see if I can find some more. I'm going to wait for some more information before I accept this or adopt this as my own truth.
Thank you.
So when you adopt that information, now to you it's concrete, it's solid. There's no other information that would go against that information or that could make you believe that what you learned is not the truth. So when
this is the problem. This is the problem. This is a big problem that a lot of people of the world tend to have, not just here in America, KKK, but also all around.
Yeah.
You know,
because people who accept information are the people who think outside the box. That means you're taking that information in and you're willing to accept other information that's
like to come along with it,
pertinent,
which means you're learning.
Right.
You're actually learning.
Which means that's the opportunity for growth.
Yes.
But when you accept something as the be-all, tell-all, that's it, and you've adopted that into your culture, into your life, and your way of living, then you're not growing. I don't care what anybody says. The growth stops there.
Tunnel vision. Vision. I want to see things one way. There's no north, south, east, west. There's only one tunnel vision.
That's it.
Tunnel vision. That's it.
That's it.
And that's sad. And you are cheating yourself. And it really makes you look like a complete idiot when you think you're talking on something that you know when really you have no clue.
Exactly.
Period.
And the same goes for the people who you get one piece of information and then run with that, as if that information right there that you got, just because it came from my mom, my dad, my best friend, my sister, my cousin, somebody who you know to tell the truth all the time, just because that information came from there, you feel like that's what I'm gonna run with because I know this person, they know what they talking about. No,
well, I was taught that you're supposed to question everything. You don't just take what someone tells you at face value and say, oh, okay, they said it, they known for knowing things, boom, there it is, that's it.
Yeah.
No, I was taught to question everything. My mother tended to hate that because I used to question her the most, but she's the one who said you're supposed to question everything. So I question everyone. I question everything, and I go and I search for my truth. I don't let someone tell it. I go and find it out for myself. That's how you learn. Also,
to add to piggyback off of what you're saying, one of the things that I learned in college was when you're looking for credible resources or credible information, you search multiple sources of information and put information together that each one of those sources of information that you found is talking about. You put that information together. If the majority are saying the same thing, and 9 out of 10 times you may be getting the facts.
Right. But that still don't mean you just take that as face value and run with it. No. You check, and double check, and make sure.
Exactly.
Just because it sounds right don't mean it is right.
Exactly. And just because the majority say it doesn't mean that the majority rules.
Exactly.
That's not true.
That's true.
The majority could be like-minded people. What if there's 10 people standing on one side of the street, and then you got one person standing on the other side of the street, and all these 10 people are thinking exactly the same, but that one person over there thinks totally different. But
I'm going to go to the person that's thinking different because I want to know what you see they don't see.
You're right. This one person is the one that got all of the facts, but these people are basing all their information off of rumors. Then what?
And because everybody agreed with that rumor. That's why I said I'm going to go over to that one person because, okay, I want to know what you know. What you know. Exactly. What you know they don't know. That's why that you're not over there. I want to know.
Yeah.
Hey, I have an inquisitive mind. I have to know.
Yes.
So it's like this whole like how you have people who look at Black Lives Matter, even some people of melanin looking at them in a negative manner instead of actually. My question is, have any ever bothered to try and talk to anybody that's in Black Lives Matter? Have anybody ever just, wanted to do just like a little random interview with them, ask them questions?
Right.
Hey, how did you guys come about? How did you form? Like, what made you guys decide to do this? Why do you call call it Black Lives Matter. You know, you get a lot of feedback from the people who say, well, if Black Lives Matter, why do you all kill yourself? So, you know, have so much violence towards each other, yada, yada, yada. Like, I can see, again, bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
Because last I checked, not only do black people do violence against each other, white people do violence against their own, Mexicans do violence against their own. Some of every race does violence against their own. But it's not just black, but that don't mean Black Lives Matter means those people who are saying that out loud and are actually marching and doing all this protesting, they are the majority who want the violence to stop. Not just with police, but also within the black community, which is why the group was formed in the first damn place, to help stop the violence in the black community. But people fail to look at that. They fail to realize that. They fail to acknowledge it. Why? Because it's so much easier to jump on that bandwagon to say, that's just another terrorist group. You feel me when they call it that? Yeah. That's just another terrorist group. Blah, blah, blah.
I think...
Like, and just because somebody is going around shouting Black Lives Matter, don't mean that they stick to them words. It doesn't mean that they're going to be on the righteous end. You do have some who will say that and loot, tear up people's property, do this, because those are, you know, they just going overdoing it.
Thank you for
they just doing the most as far as that. But it still doesn't mean that Black Lives Matter is a negative.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that there's bad apples in every group. Hence, as we can see with the cops. Hello. Bad apples in every group. So, but we're not supposed to look at our cops and say, even though them fucking bad apples that they got doing the way most.
Yeah.
But we're not supposed to look at all of them the same, correct?
Correct.
Stop looking at people with Black Lives Matter as the same. How about that? Stop looking at all black people as criminals. How about that?
Right.
So, practice what you preach is my thing.
Exactly.
Don't play that double standard fucking card.
Right.
I'm real sick of that.
Yeah. Yeah, take example for me. I don't even have a criminal record. But yet, when I was younger, a lot of times the police officers would come up to me and just be totally rude, negative, automatically assuming, you know, all types of crazy stuff about me. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, it really don't. It doesn't even make sense. It's you should base your opinion on what you know, not what you think.
Right.
And for those who like to keep looking at black people as always wanting to do harm or, you know, hurt them or be violent or whatever, hold on, let me tell you something. Yes, black people can get violent. They can. But so can every other race that's walking this earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when they, the same shit that they say about Mexican people, they rapists. Like, seriously? Really?
What?
Right.
Why? Because you had some that do that, you group them all in together, like, seriously?
Yeah, that's
Get a grip.
Stereotyping.
No more than you want us saying all white people are racist.
Stereotyping is one of the number one problems that we face in America today.
And this is why
It is.
problems are never going to get fixed until people learn how to stop doing that.
Exactly.
That's period. As long as when you start looking at an individual's actions, instead of grouping it all as all Muslims aren't terrorists.
Yeah, that's true.
Hello?
That's true.
Yeah, they want to live just like everybody else. They want to live in peace just like everybody else. They want to worship and do all that good stuff that y'all want to do.
Yeah.
Not all of them is about blowing up their bodies to prove a point. I'm sorry, that's just true.
That's the truth. It is.
Like, seriously, cut it out. You get mad when everybody group white people in as racist. I don't look at them like that, but you have those who do.
No, I only look at
I don't
racist
believe in
people
stereotyping
as racist.
anybody.
I look at racist
Right,
people as
if I'm a whole
racist.
to account, it's going to be your
if you
individual
show
actions
me
that do that.
That you are a racist person, that's how I'm going to look at you.
Boom,
as a
thank
racist
you.
person.
Yes.
If you're showing me that you're a person that's willing to communicate with anybody, then that's how I'm going to look at you as a person that's willing to communicate with anybody.
Exactly.
I only look at people for who they truly are and based on what you showing me, because I can't worry about what that person has shown you. Like, take for example, in a situation, let's put it like this. This is just an example. Let's say that me, a person of melanin, comes across, a white person, and we're able to hold a whole conversation. And then another person of melanin comes across that same Caucasian person, and they're not able to hold the conversation. They're in confrontation with one another. So, based on perception, it may look like that's a racist argument or a racist fight. But then when it comes from this side, based on perception, to me, it's a person that can actually talk to anybody. It doesn't matter who they are. So how do we know what went on between the other two that got into it? We don't know. And my point is, have the facts before you start pointing the finger. That's my point. Have the facts before you start pointing the finger. Don't just point the finger and state that somebody is racist, somebody don't like you, somebody that said something about you behind your back and things of that nature. Facts. That's what matters.
Well,
when you get to that point in your life that facts matter, then and only then will you have progressed to another level in your life where you can stop worrying about bullshit and worry about real shit.
Yes, I totally agree with that. It's just crazy how people want to know how you stop this, how you stop that. Change your thinking. Change your perspective on things. Or should I say change your perception about individuals and things of that nature, because unless you sit down and have a one-on-one conversation, you ain't really got to like sit down at the table, have a drink, whatever. Right. If you do that, that's probably a good thing. I mean, hey. But if you just, y'all waiting at the bus for those who have public transportation, you at the bus stop or whatever, and y'all standing next to each other, ain't nothing wrong with, hey, how you doing? What you think about blah, 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 blah. And then just interact with each other, get some feedback, understand that person's way of thinking as well as they're understanding yours. Exactly. You never know. Curiosity exists for a reason.
Yeah.
It exists for a reason.
And good or bad, it can actually bring about
change.
A form of education.
Yeah, and change. And exactly.
The reason why I use the word education is because it's an opportunity to learn something that you didn't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you're curious about seeing somebody working in their yard, and you've never seen the things that they're doing in their yard, but you've seen something done differently at home, and you're curious about it, what harm could it do to ask? May I ask
what do you do to get your yard to look like that? Because I'm thinking about starting a garden or yard, growing flowers, and I want mine to look like yours. You don't look nice.
Exactly.
And 9 times out of 10, they will let you know, oh, well, this is what you need, blah, 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 blah.
It's a growth process. It's an icebreaker.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to stay away from the stereotype.
Boom.
It's
Exactly.
an opportunity for that.
And if once we could break down that whole wall of stereotyping, I think then you'd be able to move on. Everybody could go forward. Because as long as this is being contained in this behind this stereotype wall, nobody's gonna move forward. Nobody.
Well, at least not the people who adopt one particular thing or one particular set of information.
And again, as I stated, I mean, if you're never too old to learn and find out something new and break down your own little, but I thought they were like this wall. You're never too old to break down that wall. Never. I mean, hell, I did it. I always stated when I was growing up, I would never move to the South. Never, ever, ever would you catch me in the South. Because what I say, I probably end up in jail. I used to say that all the time. I ain't never going to. I'll move to any other part of the globe, but I will not go to the South. What did I do? Move to the South. And it turns out it was nothing like how I thought.
Yeah.
So there was me breaking down one of those walls I had already put up stereotyping how the South was, and that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So I mean, you never too old to break down those walls that we put up for ourselves. Everybody does it. Not everything is open to everybody because they do put up walls. But I mean, if it's a wall that you can let down and you'll still be safe with doing it, I say go for it. Won't hurt to give it a shot. What can you say? It's either going to be the way you assumed it was, or it's going to be completely different, and it's going to open your eyes to a whole new way.
Yeah, it is.
Period.
It is. So totally different, a whole nother aspect of life, something that creates an opportunity for you to be more diverse and versatile versus closed-minded and tunnel vision.
And considering we live in a very diverse world, that's not going nowhere.
It's not.
That's the one constant you can count on. Diverse world. We exist in it. We live in it. So that's why we all need to learn about each other in order to have a mutual respect. Nobody's saying you gotta jump on the bandwagon. Nobody's saying that.
Right.
But as long as you have a mutual respect for the other,
or at least an understanding.
Yeah,
at least an
understanding
of another person.
It may not be your cup of tea, and that's fine. That's fine. But that mutual respect thing, that's a good thing. Because it allows you to coexist without any animosity amongst each other.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to really learn.
Yeah.
They need to learn how to do that. Like, damn, get a grip.
And now I know.
If we were all meant to be the same, we would all be the same damn color, thinking the same damn way, doing the same damn thing. Wow, boring life that would be.
Extremely boring.
Oh, goodness.
And repetitious.
Exactly.
Boring and repetitious.
You talk about mundane. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. That would be beyond the pale. And
I know a lot of people are
different
tired.
is good.
They're tired of the whole thing with the Breanna Taylor, with George Floyd. They're tired of the topics. But what you have to understand is inside of these. The lives of the two people, which were two separate lives in two different places, inside of the lives of these people is you have one that was this person was killed due to their ethnic race and background, but then you have another one that was accidentally killed, but at the same time, just like George Floyd's brother stated, the thing that makes them compatible is that the fact that you constantly having people of melanin's lives taken for unjust reasons. So that's what.
The thing about it is the fact that it's happening and nobody's being held accountable. It's one thing for that to happen. It's one thing for that to happen, but it's another thing when those that are doing it, they're not being held accountable at all. And at the same breath, you telling us that we're supposed to respect. Are you kidding me?
Like the incident with the boy in Chicago, and the police officer only got 6 years after he killed that boy.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't have, they stated that in one of the reports, it stated that he should have never been assigned to that side of the city.
This is my point. Like,
for that.
You keep expecting people to just say, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just brush this under the rug.
Like I said, you can't keep brushing shit up under the rug because eventually that shit gonna spew out.
Yeah.
It's gonna start to stink.
Yes.
And that's what's happening right now.
Yes,
y'all don't show so much shit up under the rug that rug. It can't contain no more.
It really can't. You know, and after.
So now it's filling out. And y'all don't want to face that. You don't want to face. You created. Yeah. And when I'm saying you, I'm talking about the system. Everybody who opposes the so-called system. You created this mess. You did that. By like I said, this should have been fixed decades ago.
Yeah, it's way
decades ago. It should have never existed in the first place. Let's just put it out there. Should have never existed. It should have never even been allowed to grow like a weed. It should have never even been allowed to grow in the first place. But because of the simple fact that you felt the need to want to control and dominate and all of that is the reason why you have these problems right now.
Exactly.
Humans aren't meant to be controlled or dominated because I don't give a damn what color you are. It's not why humans are supposedly to exist. Not for control and domination. Supposed to be working together to build something and to advance, move forward, grow, evolve.
Innovation.
Yeah, right. I don't think they know what that means. Yeah. Evolve, evolution. Yeah. It's probably why we are nowhere near where we're supposed to be at right now.
We're not, because they
nowhere
did,
near.
They did a
you
study.
Studied that. You studied that growth.
Yeah, they did a study on where the world would be today had their
2020.
No,
come on.
Yeah,
racism should have been eradicated. Yes,
yeah.
indeed. We're supposed to have flying cars right now.
Yeah.
Flying and all that good stuff. They are late.
Yeah, I know
they're late.
I'm surprised they actually did it.
AI should have been in existence.
But you
all
talk
that
about
good stuff.
2020. It was actually supposed to start in the year 2000.
Well,
That's when
yeah,
it was
1999. Remember Y2K, all that good stuff.
No. Remember 1999 was when we were supposed to party because we were supposed to be in the celebration
of the year. Exactly,
but
that's what I'm saying. We are so behind, and we're not going to evolve. Why? Because for one, you keep electing these old ass fucking officials who need to stop. Y'all need to change that age from 35 and up. It should be from the age of 25 to 50 that you can be president. I'm sorry. Because anything older than 50, no. Why? Because older people tend to not want to change their views.
Yeah, and nor change
and
they
don't want to evolve with the times and grow with the times. So y'all need to change that. I'm sorry, the Constitution needs to be upgraded. Yeah. You need to change that presidential
There's a lot of
age.
Stuff that needs to be
25 to 50 should be the cutoff period of when you can be president and run the country. Because that's another reason why we in this situation that we're in.
Yeah.
You got all these old dusty ass back in the 1930s and 40s folks. No offense to y'all, but y'all should have been sitting y'all asses in a rocking chair somewhere on the porch enjoying your glory years and calling it a day. They are not equipped to be in this time frame. Because your minds, you don't stomach your growth of your brain to grow with the times. Anytime you got Trump, make America great again, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What decade would that be when it was great?
Yeah, exactly.
What decade would that be?
Exactly.
What decade are we talking about? Make America great again.
First of all,
what do you mean again?
What is the narrative behind that? What does that even mean?
Exactly. Taking it back to your time, I think that bastard was born in what? The 40s? 30s, 40s, something like that. He's 70-something years old. So, I mean, really? Back in your time, you saying that's when it was great. Well, I'll be damned. That's why you should have never been president. You're too fucking old.
But what part are you talking about when you said make America great?
I'm trying to figure that part out myself. A lot of other people was asking themselves that question too. Not quite clear on that. All I know is it should have never even been a slogan to begin with. Because when was great again? When?
Right.
Every decade there was always some shit. So when exactly was great?
Right.
When was great?
And then even during his time when he was born, there was still, different forms of slavery and segregation. So
maybe that's the time we're talking about.
Are we talking about?
Well, see,
so
and again,
this
is why we can't evolve and grow. Because you have people like that, and like I said, no offense to those who are in that age bracket. If you are offended, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. People of a younger age group,
who have all these innovative ideas.
Exactly. Yeah. Have a little bit more open-mindedness.
They understand
and
a lot more about what's going on.
want things to move forward at a much quicker pace. Those are the ones that need to be being elected and running for these offices and all that good stuff. Because as long as we have what they call them good old boys in office, Mitch McConnell old as dust. There's no way in hell he should have been in the Senate for this long. That's another thing. The terms you allow these people to be in, the same way a president can serve no more than 8 years. The same should be said for congressmen, for senators, for House of Representatives. The same should be said for them.
Also, I think we should go back to the original laws where the community chose the police officers, not the government. There should be no police officer working for any form of government whatsoever.
I agree.
No.
Yeah. Because you guys suck. You don't do proper background checks. You don't do proper training. You don't do sufficient characterization. None of that. You do none of that. All you have to do is pass that little stupid test of yours and a physical, and boom, here you go. You're back to your gun.
And there should be no reason for an FBI agent or a CIA agent to look down upon the police officers that have office in the precinct.
Yes, it is.
No.
Why they
Listen
should?
what I'm about to say. Listen what I'm about to tell you. The reason why I say that is because they should all have the same formal training in order to even join the force in the first place. Something that you mentioned before.
I firmly believe that in order to be a cop, you should have to go through the same exact thing that FBI, CIA. You should have to go through the same thing they have to go through. The same thing. Why? Because you're around civilians more than they are.
Yeah.
So why do they have to go through so much extensive testing and training, and you all don't? I don't understand that.
It's not fair for the citizens that have to endure so much excessive force, brutality, and abuse.
All because they lack sufficient training. And they also think because they wear that badge they can do it and get away with it. And you prove that they're right.
It's also not fair for any, I don't care what level you're on, federal agent, police officer, anybody. It's not fair that they are not deemed to the same sentencing as a civilian if they are caught disobeying the law.
Right. Why are they,
it's not fair.
Again, like I said, you created this. And when I say you, I'm talking about everybody that opposes the system. You created this shitstorm that's happening right now. You created it. You allowed it to continue and grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it can't be contained. Nobody's going to say, oh, okay. At least they gave him something. Okay. No, them days is gone. Enough is enough. What y'all being told right now, enough is enough. It's true.
As far as that, I feel like the reason why they're not being deemed to the same standards as citizens is because they're trying to protect them, because they know that if so many police officers get deemed in the way that they really are, eventually that's going to help us, that's going to aid us in overthrowing the government. That's not
I'm sorry.
Technically, the government needs to overthrow themselves by changing, just like she stated. They need to change a whole shit ton and upgrade and update these laws. So they're gonna overthrow themselves.
They do. They need to. When this little one becomes of age, I want her to only know about this in history form. All this ignorance that's existing right now. Exactly. I want her to only know about this in the form of history. I don't want this to still be continuing on. When he gets bigger, adult, when she gets like teenage status or adult, I don't want them to have to know about this.
They should.
In a literal sense. Read about it, learn about it, yes, so it can't be repeated. But that's about all. I want them to know this. And I would think, Generation X, you want the same for your grandchildren.
Yeah.
For them not to have to go through this, I would think that we, Generation Xers, and y'all know you are, would be more vocal as far as what's going on. I mean, we were the generation of coming out of the box with new and different things. That's why they called us Generation
We were
X.
the fighters.
Yes, we were the fighters. We were the rebellious ones. Anarchists. Hello, remember that? Or did we just become so consumed in our adult life that we forgot about that?
Yeah.
And what we once stood for? I haven't.
No way. No shake.
And by me having a grandchild, this little one right here, I definitely don't want her knowing any of this ugliness right now of what's going on.
Well, I don't want my grandchildren to not know it, but I don't want them to live it.
Like I said, in the literal sense, I don't want her to know it. You know read about it, learn about it, yes, but to experience it and where she can witness it, no, I don't want that. I don't think any of our grandchildren should have to be in this. Like I said, we should have been past this decades ago. This shouldn't even be a continuing thing right now.
And I also want to give kudos to George Floyd's brother for speaking out about the incidents that's been happening, the current events. And I also want to give kudos to Pushback and the Breakfast Club for actually speaking out about the case with Breanna Taylor and George Floyd and some of the other people that we need to be paying homage to. Well, not paying homage to, but giving respects to for their unlawful deaths. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's a blessing that at least we have people and entities and groups being formed to at least be vocal about the things that's going on, because your voice is power. Your voice makes a difference in this world. It also helps to make a difference in this world. If you're not going to do anything physically, at the least having voice, but have your facts. So one of the things that Pushback was talking about and that the Breakfast Club was talking about, have your facts. Always have your facts in line. Don't just spew information without having any facts to back that up. Fact check everything, just like Twitter said they were going to do to Donald Trump and pissed him off. Have your facts. You know what I'm saying? Have your facts.
Kudos to Twitter.
I
think every social media outlet should do that.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Because
have all of the facts.
Lies can spread like wildfire, whereas the truth can be hidden like a dead body. Sad but true.
And another thing that we talked about earlier today too, before we got on our live feed today, is people in general need to ensure that we are not doing the same thing, having that trickle down effect, whereas all that bad information that was given to you, you're passing that bad information down to the newer generations.
Yes.
And having them pass it down to somebody else that'll be younger than them. We need to let that go. That needs to stop completely. Let that completely go.
That's right. Where are the truth seekers at? What happened? Did
Exactly.
y'all become extinct? What happened with that? That used to be once upon a time what my generation was. Our generation, Generation X, we were truth seekers.
And here we are still doing
exactly.
it. To this day, we're
Where the rest
doing
of y'all at? Really? Like I said, have you become so consumed in your adulthood that part of you has been dummied down? I would hope not.
So, in closing, I want to say this. Everybody needs to know that we are Perspective Show, the host and the co-host. We're actually going to change our time to 6 p.m. And that's due to some technicalities that we need to take care of. Also, for those of you who missed the show, who are sitting around with family and friends, we always appreciate you for actually, being a part of the show. We also have another link that I posted on my page, and PJ, I believe she posted on her page. Me has posted on her page as well. But we also have another link with our YouTube page, and there are going to be some changes made to our YouTube page, but for now it is actually up and running. So any of our episodes that you have missed and you don't actually have Facebook Live and you're watching it with somebody else, you can actually go to YouTube, Two Perspectives Show, and watch those and get caught up on everything that's going on.
From the very beginning.
Yes, definitely. Our road trip is on there. The very first day that our show started, everything is there. It's right there.
Which was actually by accident. But yes.
We're gonna have an intro too, made by me.
Be sure to join us tomorrow where we have open topic, where pretty much anything is up for grabs as far as what we decide to talk about. Again, feel free to post your topic if you would like for us to discuss something specific. Also include you in our live discussion. Feel free to post that on our website. We are open and welcome to all ideas, opinions, everything. As long as you do what?
Keep it cool.
Keep it classy.
Most of all, keep it respectful. Thank you guys again for joining us this Saturday. And we will be here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a good day. Say goodbye.
Peace.